Maroon's era. He was very impregnable in defense, but so much concentrating on stopping the opponent than actually creating, and it has reflected in the way Bright Stars is playing today. Of course, some games have been unlucky. The Maroons game, they were a little bit unlucky, but that was a derby of sorts between him and Mohamed Senfuma. But you cannot actually exonerate them from the Blacks Power game. In fact, Blacks Power continued to look for a coach, and they signed Hussein Mbalangu just yesterday. That means they were not even satisfied with what Sekito had done against Bright Stars. So I think Bright Stars need to actually brighten their hopes. They have not conceded so many goals. They have conceded only one. But the team that has scored against them is a team that you wouldn't expect to score against you at this moment if you count the form. So they have managed to stifle bigger, greater opponents, and they let in a goal against Blacks Power. So it shows so much about their season so far and the reflection of what Asaf Mwebaze is. And I know he must be scratching every book that he has to get the notes that can get him goals. This game that they have with UPDF pits Bright Stars very good defense against one of the worst defenses so far. We've been talking about Blacks Power conceding so many goals, but UPDF have also let in many goals. From the draw with Express, they conceded 3 against Bull, and then as they were winning against Busoga, they conceded 2. So they have so far let in 6 goals. Despite the fact that they have a win in between, they have let in 6 goals. So it is 2 contrasting defenses against each other. A very tight one and a very, very open one. Then again, going forward, UPDF have scored goals at will. In every game they score. Even against Express they scored, against Busoga, and even when they were losing against Bull, they managed to get a penalty by Ibrahim Magandas. So which means the attack is more potent than the one of Bright Stars. Now, if you try to shuffle what can happen, you imagine this to be a very open game. And when you look at the results they have had, both sides, you would think that goals have to come. UPDF have a hat trick from Ivan Ahimbisiwe. He must be very inspired now. And you think he is aching to do a lot. If Bright Stars really need to start their season to get away from that draw jinx, this is a game where they have to open up and try to score, because however much they keep the defense tight, they let in a goal against Blacks Power. So they should open up and try to improve more on the attack and probably get goals, because that is what is lacking in their play. And the more it goes on like that, it will become a habit, and you cannot accept a bad habit to prevail in your season.
Okay. Now looking at Bright Stars, they've conceded only 1 goal, but they are not being very active in attack. A couple of players missing today. Ibrahim Kasinde is in camp for under 20. Senyonjo is out injured. Nudin Bunjo is not in the squad, but Senka Tuka is there, who scored last season when they played UPDF in Bombo. What do they have to do today to score, Godwin?
As Bright Stars, I think they need to go all out. As Tendo spoke about it, you're at home, you need to take the advantage to ensure that you get this result. Yes, you do against Blacks Powers. It was unexpectedly, because I was thinking Asaf Mwebaze will be gunning for that win in Akibua Stadium, but it never materialized. A mistake from Hassan Matovu again. He fumbled with the ball from across, and then the ball was tapped in for an easy goal. And I can even relate it to the Fufa drum game, Toro versus Teso. He again fumbled with a cross. So I'm looking at Hassan Matovu today to see what he's going to do in this match, because if you're repeating those mistakes, they become a habit. You do not need to be a goalkeeper of habitual mistakes. At least get your game straight. You've been given the note to be ahead of Were. Do your thing. Make sure that Bright Stars picks up that momentum and those points that they need. He started well against Vipers, clean game, good game. Against Maroons, good game. You come against Blacks Powers and a weaker opponent, if related to Vipers, you concede such a goal, and then you go after a few days, you go to Toro and you concede again the same goal. You need to, as a goalkeeper, you need to keep your concentration high to ensure that your team can depend on you. If they are going to concede such goals, I don't see any way Asaf Mwebaze will survive, because if the strikers are not scoring and then the defense has started leaking goals, it's going to be a big problem for them. For the two centre backs, there is Andrew Chambade and Warren Bule. They are fine. They have that good game reading, taking them forward, and also Amonyi Kaka, who has replaced Semayange as the number 3, and number 2 has been doing good. Odong, Jonathan, they have been intact. But right now, they are facing a UPDF side which is stubborn. As it has been mentioned, they have been scoring goals at will against Bull, against the former opponent there. Even URA scored. So at least you need to be sure of your players. Yeah. Striker Nelson Sekatuka might be on the starting lineup. We'll see. We'll wait and see the starting lineup. But if he makes it, this is his chance to prove to the people that I am back again in top form. He has been coming on and off in games, just a few minutes there, here and there. But I think this is today's game. It will be his to take. Amos Muonge, who has been starting, is drafted on the bench. So anyone who's going to start up front, Cheyune there, Nelson Senkatuka, the midfield attacking, they need to do something. Coach Asaf Mwebaze, the lenses will be on him to ensure that he gets these three points. For
sure. Let's hope that Senkatuka has his form ready to score against UPDF today again. Now, last season, UPDF finished above Bright Stars, just 1 point above them. But if you look at the goals they conceded, 46 goals, it was one of the most goals conceded last season. And then this season they've conceded 6 goals compared to Bright Stars' 1 goal. Where do you think has gone wrong for Brian Senyondo's defense?
Well, it's not about them going wrong. It's about them having some challenges in assembling a side that is consistent. For the past 4 seasons, UPDF loses like 6 or 7 players. When they try to assemble a side, some players get out. When you look at the sides that have been representing UPDF, you'll see that the likes of Brian Karumba, Brian Kayanja, Davis Kasirie are no longer in the team. Ibrahim Tembo, James Begisa, Bright Vuni, yes. They have all left. Issa Mubiru, the one who is at Vipers. So the turnover of the team is so high that you cannot guarantee development. And once you have that, the habit that I was talking about prevails. Their habit is they can win games, however much you score against them. So they are not afraid to concede as long as they can guarantee themselves goals. Yes. And they have the players that can do that because there is that sense of the intimidation in their stadium at Bombo. Some teams have that freak, you know. In Africa we have those complexes. People going to the stadium and seeing men kind of have that nervous breakdown, and it helps them actually get results when they're at home, even when they're not playing well. Yes. And having players like Ezekiel Katende, Ibrahim Wamana is probably the most consistent. When he came on loan from Proline, he has stayed, and then there is some Tio comes in and out. Now they have a very new squad. Goalkeepers keep changing. Every time you'll see Brian Bwete, then tomorrow you'll see Yusuf Waswa, then now you are seeing Ivan Mutumba. So the turnover of the team is very big. Today, Brian Senyondo has a team that he has assembled from his days of synergy and players that have been with him probably during his Mbarara City days. Yes. So plus some under 17 players from his team, the likes of Abbas Cheyune and all that. So I think he's trying to glue it up. But there's things that are always a fixture of your team. If they can score very well, they are okay. Now, having Rogers Mugisha and Ivan Ayimbisiwe in good form, I think they are capable of scoring so many goals. And that kind of plays to their disadvantage in trying to patch up the back. Because when you look at the back, they lost Sej Toleko, the captain. He's not joined any team, but he's doing a military course, so he's not going to be part. They lost Musa Mude, the experienced player who could patch up. So the turnover of the team is very big, and with that kind of turnover, you cannot guarantee results. You can see it from teams that lose players. The likes of Sports Club Villa, the likes of Express, Vipers, when they were still up there gauging themselves. Today they have a squad that you can read the same names for 3 years. Probably you can now see that they are progressing. So it is very hard to progress when you change the squad every season.
Yes, and actually we were speaking about it a couple of days ago, about players' contracts. When a player joins a team, you see players being given contracts for 6 months, 1 year, instead of 3 years or 2 years. Now what that does, it either makes the team vulnerable because the player can leave or can negotiate with the team after the 6 months have ended, and you just see the player leaving. Instead of the clubs at least being able to hold some responsibility or some value on that player, we see most players fighting for that 6 months or 1 year, which is challenging for teams today. I think that is why we are seeing turnovers.
What is the shortest contract you ever signed?
Yes, what's the shortest?
It was 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
Now, what do you promise a team in 6 months as you are negotiating? Because the team promises you things, but you and your representative, you promise a team something. What do you promise a team when you are signing 6 months? Because that will give us the real answer.
It is a short, very short.
Because in 6 months, you are joining a new team. You don't know your teammates. You need to blend. How long does it take you to blend into a team?
Maybe for a goalkeeper,
it depends. No.
For a goalkeeper, but still, you want to promise them in 6 months. Because 6 months have like 6 or 7 or 10 games.
To players, maybe many aspects need to be looked upon. You are signing for a team which you're not sure of its financial stability, but you need that playing time. Definitely, that drives you to get 6 months.
So you tell them that you are going to play as you prepare yourself to go somewhere.
You don't even tell it
because
to them.
It's obvious.
You don't even tell it to them. If you prove yourself, because even the team, sometimes even the team gives you that option. Even the team wants to see you
with an option to increase.
With an option to increase, definitely. If you for real. If you produce on the pitch, if the team is financially stable, they'll give you that contract. It has happened a lot of times.
Yes.
Even at KCC, Vipers,
technically, a player's contract at 6 months, they are free to negotiate with another team and sign a pre-contract.
Should I give you a great example?
If your contract is 6 months, that means the day you sign it,
actually, when you think about
you are technically allowed to talk to the next club.
Should I give you a great example? It happened as you spoke about it. It was Daniel Kumamuzei in Express. 6 months,
he was
and
talking
then
to Vipers.
As he was talking to Express to sign, then Vipers came in for him.
I think
there is no rule broken.
What happens is that you look at it from both ways. Express are getting a quality player who can at least uplift them for those 6 months. And then for the player's side, he's looking at going
something
to a
big.
better
That
team.
is being desperate now.
It is being desperate
for a club, not for a player. For a player, it's being, of course. No, I cannot even blame the player. It is about the agent.
Yes.
You have a stopgap, and then you are hoping to go to the next. I am thinking in that kind of contract still, it shouldn't be towards the end of the season. Like from say the contract expires in January or in June. The expiration date has to be in between the middle of the season, so that by the time the transfer window comes, you still have some months. But logically, I don't see a reason as a CEO signing a player who is going to be off my grip in January.
You say clubs are desperate.
Let me give you
so that is being desperate. You just need a player to fill your gap.
Patrick Kandu signed for how many years? 1 year or was it 6 months?
Where?
Chitara.
I'm not sure what.
I'm sure it was a.
What I'm sure of is what he refused.
Yes.
Or what was refused when he wanted to sign a short-term contract with SC Villa. That I'm sure of. I don't know what they agreed with Chitara, but Chitara, being a big league side, they don't lose anything.
Yes.
Big league season is shorter. In 6 months, he could have gotten them somewhere. But if it is a team like Vipers, and you are signing and they have Champions League and all that, you can calculate. But a team that is going to fight for relegation, you cannot say in 6 months this player is going to save us. That is the logic. So I think probably that team doesn't have money to even talk about a long-term contract. For starters,
that is true.
That is the first thing. The team doesn't have money, and they want to tie on to a player. Now that is where astute management comes in. Sign a contract that is having no benefits with an option to gain from the future. Bule, you are going to be here. We don't have so much money, but let us sign a 1-year contract. But anytime a team comes, or 2 years or 3 years, anytime a team comes, you are released. But they can give us some compensation. So let us have that fee that we can get from helping you to stay on form.
Yes.
In the process, you help us to do this and this. That is the logic I would see. But you cannot tell me
it can entail many things, I tell you, because there are some clever players who cannot accept that. But there are some players who are clever and they sense it in the way you've brought it out. Yes, I'm safe in this environment. Let me take on this job. Let's go forward as a team, and they are okay with that. But there's a player that even the financial stability is there, but he senses that this is not the team I need. Maybe if I can negotiate my way to getting a 6-month deal. It has happened, even in cases.
How do you negotiate with the team you don't need?
It has happened. Many players have.
So that
I think it comes down to playing time.
You
that
see,
that is
now
a lot
the
of
playing time
things
thing. Because you are a free agent.
Yes.
You are not. It's not a loan deal. Because even a 6 months loan deal is not good enough. It has to be a year at least. So you're a free agent. You don't need the team, but you need the playing time. How can that playing time benefit you when you don't need that team? And if you are getting playing time, what are you going to give the team in return for that playing time? You expect bonuses, you expect allowances and all that. And all these players do is sit there and they don't help the team. Why? Because they are not mentally psyched to die for the badge. They are looking at the next contract.
Yes.
So that is where it beats logic. And this is where CEOs have to wake up and also engage the so-called agents and player managers or representatives. I don't want to use the same word because for me, I know it's very ambiguous. Some people are not agents. Others are not even player managers. They are only intermediaries. They come in when there is a deal and then go and rest. That is why at the end of the day they cry, I've not gotten money, I've not gotten this. Because if you are involved in a player's life, you can even choose to let the player go and enjoy himself because your motive was to uplift that player. If you were about the business, then you have to bring the most astute business proposals. So either way, there is something lacking, and it's affecting the league, it's affecting these clubs. And the earlier they wake up to realize it, the better. Otherwise, we are going to keep having the same indifferent results and the same half-baked players year in, year out.
Actually, now you look at the Bright Stars team. 2 seasons ago, they were playing UPDF. They had the likes of Young Man, who was gone to Vipers. They had Kagwa and Derek Ngobi, who have both gone to Express. Losing such players, you think they have replaced them? Because we are speaking about players who stay there. Maybe some of those players might have stayed there for some time, but the meaning of replacing those players, you need some kind of establishment that enables you to identify certain players. You think Bright Stars have been able to replace such talent? Young Man being a regular in the national team, Derek Ngobi and Kagwa going to Express being vital players for them. What's your take, Godwin?
If you look at the quality of the players that Bright Stars today has in this game, even going into this game, you can say they are quality players. But if you need the experience of Kagwa, as you've mentioned, Derek Ngobi, it's not yet there, but maybe Asaf Mwebazo is building something. He's a new coach. He has his players that he understands. That is what is happening with Senyondo for EPDF. He has his players that he understands, who he knows can work for him. It's upon Asaf Mwebazo to make it work. He has brought in many players. I can say Amos Muonge, Dennis Kaka, Sharif Msereko, Ashraf Mulindi, Ashraf Mandela, the likes of Matovo Hassan. Okay, he found him there, but he thinks that these are the players that can make his work tick. Yes, it has not worked upon how they envisage it, because they wanted it to start on a high, a draw from Vipers, going into Black Powers game, a draw, which was not needed, Maroons game, a draw. So I think the technical area, Mr. Ian Mutenda, are thinking about what to do, because they need positive results. The boys have the quality, but right now that experience is just blending in to ensure that they get what they want. It's only going to take some time. That's why the pressure is not on Asaf Mwebazo to deliver on an instant. They will give him some time to see if that he can get something out of those boys. Yes, they missed that quality. Nelson Senkatuka is around as a senior player. He has not yet gelled in that team, but he will be able to gel when the right time comes, and through the understanding of the boys and Nelson Senkatuka and some senior players, because I know Bright Stars is a team which gives you time. These players will be in much position to deliver when the time comes. Right now, everyone is learning about each other. It's a learning process. They need to take it time by time. But right now, they need to focus on today's game. UPDF. You need to get that win against UPDF. There is no qualm about it. Everyone knows Bright Stars at home. UPDF spending 7 games away without winning you. There's no question about it. Yes, they drew against Maroons. We expected Maroons to lose at Kavumba. But right now, it's an advantage to Asaf Mwebaze. Get everything right. Make sure everything is ticking. The goalkeeper is working properly. Defenders, midfielders. I saw Frank Chizanyuro playing against Black Powers. Today is going to play as an attacking midfielder, taking them forward, feeding Nelson Sekantuka. If he starts, then Cheyune on the left. On the right, it will be upon Asaf Mwebaze to pick whoever we will pick. But those few I've mentioned, they produced the results that he wanted in Lira. So today, I think if they do better, they'll get a positive result.
For sure. We shall get the lineup in a few moments, but the head-to-head, Bright Stars have won once, UPDF have won twice, and the other two have ended up in draws. But now, today's game, a couple of changes, couple of players missing, of course, for both sides. Where do you see this game going, Tendo? Do you think it is up to UPDF's attack or Bright Stars' defense?
I would have used the pedigree, but I think UPDF has lost even the right to pedigree because they have changed a lot. UPDF, if we were to count the history of the club from the days of Simba, yes, you would think this is a result that they have to win, because Simba is one of the aristocrats of the league. They were the first team to represent Uganda in the CAF Champions League. They even reached the final in 1972. But over the years, it kept changing names, Resistance FC, then into Simba, from the days of Ame and all that. Then of recent, when they got relegated, they bought into the Saints, and they came back as UPDF. Now, the detachment from the history and the present is so evident that even the teams that have come up, like the likes of Gaddafi, now NEC also is from the establishment that are in big league. It has killed the amount of support that they have and the bragging rights. So it's more like a Bombo Barracks team right now. And remember those days we used to have teams like Bombo Barracks, General Headquarter and all that, military, then Resistance, and then what. So it's not that strong to warrant the pedigree that would have got them, because Simba actually even lifted the Uganda Cup.
Yes.
So, but you shudder to link the Simba to the UPDF of today, even when so many people involved in the side. But right now, I think it's like a new team, and Bright Stars cannot fear anything about UPDF. If it was about pedigree, then you would have given it to UPDF. But Bright Stars now are even more stronger in this league from the time when they came. Right now, they have had a solid run, a more solid run, very good results. They even reached the final of the Uganda Cup, which you would have seen as a very minimal thing compared to the history of UPDF. But from the kind of stability they've had, you would have thought that they are now better. But the mistake that befell them is dropping Bekamboa. Bekamboa had finished 5th. I don't know what happened in between, and they had to part ways. And from that time, everything went into descendants. And even the coach that stayed, Simon Peter Mugero, has not been given the encouragement to be the head. He's still now even an assistant. Sometimes you even don't see him on the bench when he's concentrating in his school thing. And he's one of those people with Frank Mulindwa who have recruited a lot for Bright Stars. So that connection with the recruitment side and the current setup is a little bit stretched. So you would think that they have parallel ambitions. And that is where now the Ian Mutenda's philosophy needs to be checked. When you look at Bright Stars, you see a lot more of Proline trying to look like KCC in terms of philosophy and approach. But the way they do things is a little bit different. But having brought Asaf Mweba as a KCC fan, who also tried to duplicate the same philosophy in Maroons, I would think he can do that. But like Bule said, he needs a lot of time. That kind of philosophy needs a lot of time. If Bright Stars have the patience to suck in all the indifferent results they are going to have, then they'll benefit. But you see, what we have seen in this league of recent is there is no patience. Even a team like Busoga will demand the head of the coach.
We saw there.
So Black's Power have shuffled coaches at will, and like I predicted, before we reach match day 5, we'll see more heads rolling.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I was actually surprised to see Peter and then leave, and then they
the man is operating in sequence.
He has been giving us sequence after sequence.
Let us wait for our next sequence. You tell us who is going next.
You even tell us the scores for the next 12 matches. No, but I think you're right, Tendo. It's a bit complicated because you look at a team who recruits a manager like Asaf Mwebazi, he needs time, but at the same time, another team recruits a coach who's given a very short time to do what he's supposed to do and doesn't get the results. Where do you see that imbalance, Godwin? Because something has to work out. Either you give a coach the time he needs, because finishing 5th in the table is a good start. That he should have definitely been given more time to implement, and the support. I don't know what happened. What is your idea on that?
I'll start with Bekamboa as the coach for Sotilo Bright Stars. The way he started the league, after being named head coach for Sotilo Bright Stars, he had a bad run, a poor run. I was part of that squad, losing the first few games. It was like 4 games, and then going on to catch up with the results. The last game that they lost prior to a winning run, it was against Vipers FC at St. Mary's Sitende, and I was in goal. I got injured in that game. From that game, there was a switch of players, and there was a run of wins. He was given that time. The players learned the coordination because he had new players in his team. Samuel Sekamate, the Andrew Kagwas then joining the fray, Simon Tamale then coming in goal, and some few players. That run enabled him to get what they wanted. That's why Bright Stars managed to finish 5th. But right now, the pressure is on Asaf Mwebazi. Yes, as Tendo predicted, that the axe may be swinging on coaches.
No, I didn't say on Asaf.
No, let me put it right. The axe is swinging on anyone who is underperforming.
It could swing on coaches.
Robertino.
Robertino has even just gotten his papers.
An example just there.
Robertino might get even a 5-year contract.
Unless Robertino becomes...
I see, really.
He's giving us more things. I think it is the red example.
It was an example. It was an example there just to talk about the coaches. Every coach needs that time. Bekamboa was given that time, and he improved the squad. He got the results, but the season ending on a good note, then another season coming in, Bekamboa, the results depreciated. Everyone was expecting Bright Stars to be among the top 4, top 5 as he finished the last league, but he never materialized. That's why he was given time off as the head coach of Bright Stars. Now replacing another coach, Simon Mugera, coming there in the fray, ensuring that he gets things going. But things didn't go his way. And then
they brought back Paul Chiwa.
Paul Chiwanoka
who had left to go and join Vipers. His colleague Fred Kajoba. Then after, before the season, they failed to agree terms with Paul Chiwa. So there's something internal that you cannot really verify.
I can recall on something.
At many teams, by the way. Actually, we were talking about contracts. Why is this contract short? Why is this contract this small and all that? There is always that problem. And it is not shown because they will always put a veil on it and say we've mutually agreed to part ways.
But there's always something underneath.
There's always something underneath, and it is very hard to know what exactly is going on behind the scenes.
I don't know what is the difference between Coach Chiwa and Bright Stars, because even Coach Chiwa, at the first time when I was there, he was the person I loved most being at the helm. But immediately he was and his man management. But maybe the style of play that Bright Stars wants doesn't suit him as a coach, because he's a kind of coach who has another style of play. But
what if the answer lies in the song of our fallen legend Fidel Retire?
Yeah.
Likambo ya faranga.
You need to translate
faranga, it. It's all about the money.
Maybe.
You support Lira.
Yeah.
Lango. It's all about the Benjamins.
Let us wait for the lineups. We are waiting for the lineups to see who is starting and who is on the bench today. I think that will give us a clear picture on to what is actually going to prosper in today's match, because we expect either Bright Stars to have a serious defense, or UPDF to score goals. So let us hand over to the pitch side to see what is happening, to get some interviews from the managers. Let's see what's going on.
Lawrence. To Kavumba Recreation Playground. Match day 4 commences this particular evening, and definitely welcome back from the game between Gaddafi FC and Express FC in a game that has been played at the Mtesatu Stadium in Wankulukuku. Well, match day 4, it's Soltilo Bright Stars against UPDF FC in the STARTIMES Uganda Premier League. History of course favors Soltilo Bright Stars in this game, because UPDF is winless in their 7 meetings when the two teams faced off at this very particular stadium. So definitely Asaf Mwebas and Hill Soldiers will be banking on the good home record against UPDF FC, a team that has 4 points from 3 games, and definitely UPDF will be capitalizing on their previous 3-2 win over Soga United in a game where, of course, Donato Okello was sent off with matching orders, and Ivan Ahimbisiwe scored a hat-trick. That is for the team known as UPDF. But Soltilo Bright Stars have played to 3 back-to-back draws in the opening 3 fixtures, definitely opening the season against Vipers Sports Club at the St. Mary's Stadium in Chitende, sharing spoils at this very stadium with Maroons FC, and definitely their previous 1-1 draw against Blacks Power, the newbies in the league. So definitely they are looking forward to get back to winning ways and get off the mark. Well, I don't know whether they will be in position to live to the billing, and definitely will be leaving that to the head coach, that is Asaf Mwebaze. But for UPDF, the team is motivated simply because of the return of their head coach, Brian Senyondo, who returns from national team engagements. Brian was the under-17 side previously that took part in the under-17 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers that took place in Ethiopia. Much as the team didn't qualify simply because we finished 4th, and definitely the team bowed out of the championship. But definitely it's not over, and definitely the Cubs will be looking forward to other international engagements. But Brian Senyondo returns, and he looks forward to get his 2nd successive win for UPDF. But this will be his first game in charge for this particular season 2022-2023. Well, speaking to Brian Senyondo, he believes his return is a huge boost for his team, and definitely relies on Ivan Ahimbisiwe, much as Donato Okello is suspended and will be serving his first game on suspension. Let's get to hear from Coach Brian Senyondo about his pre-match anticipations for the game. Bright Stars.
Hey, thank you. Brian Senyondo is my name. First of all, before I tackle your question, allow me to say thank you to Fufa for this innovation of Fufa TV. As a football fraternity, we are very happy, and we say thank you to Fufa, to the president and his executive. Yes, it's my first game from national duty. It's away, unfortunately, but any game is a game, whether home or away. So I'm looking forward for this game.
History did not favor you whenever you visit this very stadium. 7 games, no win. Are you ready to change things around? How prepared are you to overturn the things around in this particular game?
Yes, as a club, maybe the history does not favor us, but as a person, I've been here several times and I've picked some positive results. So I hope today I will get a result. We have tried to organize the team to see that that we get the points we deserve. Though we have some players who are doing the UNEB, you know, this is our team is of more of the younger players, so we are missing some players, but hopefully we can get a positive result.
Finally, Donato Okello continues to serve his suspension, 3 games away. Won't this affect the club?
Yeah, he's a very important player in the team, but like any other, any player here is important. You would say that you also miss Shafiki Magogo because he's in exams, so he's equally missed like Okello is. So I hope we those who are here will give us a good game.
Thank you, coach.
Thank you.
Well, that's it from Coach Brian Senyondo, the man in charge of UPDF. Now for Asaf Mwebaze, Machaz Samuel Senyonjo is away due to injury, and Ivan Irinim is away with due to exams, senior 4 exams. He's unfazed simply because Nelson Senkatuka is available and the leading club's goal scorer with over 50 goals in the last 4 seasons. So Asaf Mwebaze is unfazed and upbeat, and definitely his anticipations are nothing but getting maximum points. Machaz, the team has played with 3 successive draws right from day 1. Let's get to hear from Coach Asaf Mwebaze, the man in charge of Soltilo Bright Stars. For you to prove your doubters wrong, but you've played with 3 successive draws. What gives you confidence that you will be in position to get maximum points in this game?
It's practice. It's all about practice. Even the draws, they may sound like very simple results, but there have been difficult results even to get. Even the draws that were played have been not easy results to get. So draws are 3 points. So how we get 3 points today is by rectifying all the problems that we have been doing in the mistakes, and maybe even become a bit more calm in the game since we're playing home. And I think after we have put in a few days of training, probably we'll pull it off today.
Sam Senyonjo is injured, and this comes at a time when Nelson Senkatuka is off form. Aren't you worried that it will, in one or the other, affect the goal scoring rate for Bright Stars in this game?
No, actually Nelson coming back is a bonus because he happens to be the leading goal scorer of this club, over 50 goals in 4 seasons. So I think having Nelson is also a plus. It's not that he's off form, but he just started pre-season a bit late, so he's just been catching up. And we think today he might be firing, and we are going to get the goals, I'm sure.
How best do you know Coach Brian Senyondo and UPDF in general?
Yeah, he's my friend. He has been my classmate in coaching classes. And most of all, he's my friend. He has been my friend even before football. We have been together in youth football. When he was with Sinaj, I was with Maroon, so we played in all those youth tournaments. So I know him very well. I like the way he plays the game. He's a student of the game, and probably the fans will have a very good game today.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
Yes, 9 meetings between the 2 teams has produced 4 draws. UPDF winning 3 and Soltilo Bright Stars winning 2. Definitely 9 engagements, and UPDF has got a lion's share from their engagements in the Uganda Premier League. We're waiting to see how this game between the 2 sides will be faring, and definitely we'll be eagerly waiting to see the possible outcomes from this game. Well, whoever will take maximum points from this game, I don't know, but your guess is as good as mine. For now, we shall be getting back to that is a commentary, and Peter Druliotai will be taking us through commentary for the next 90 minutes. We'll be coming back at full time.
Well, there you have it. Wonderful analysis there from Kigozi, giving us some interviews from the managers. But Brian Senyondo, a very young coach, 28 years of age, you rarely see that in the game, Tendo.
Yeah, and by the time he started, he was actually like 20, 22, 21. So his experience is immense. At 28, he is experienced. Yeah. You would be surprised at how he approaches the game and how he likes his teams to play. And Asaf has confessed it himself also. Very experienced, so many years in the game. I remember seeing him playing for Bugolobi Rangers back in the day, and then later on joining Maroons also as an assistant for Mike Mutebi. and he has gone on to help Maroons to over 3 big league titles. Every time they go down, he brings them back and all that. And he's experienced. He had a few challenges holding on to jobs after Maroons, Onduparaka. Then there was a time he even had a Mbarara job actually to replace Brian Senyondo, and I think he didn't embrace it so well, and he left. Then Nyamitiobora, you know, so I think I just hope that this time he can concentrate and have the piece that he needs to produce what he has produced for Maroons. He tried to create many players, same way Brian Senyondo has created many players during his Mbarara tenure. All the players that you see, the Ibrahim Orits, the Ochoras, the Henry Chitegenyi and all that, he has produced many players, and some of them have moved with him. Swali Kibebese Guja, you'll see Ibrahim Magandazi and the like. So I think this is a game that has coaches that need a lot of time, but they'll give us a good game. Now the challenge with both teams playing a good game is the one who twitches a bit takes the day.
Or suffers.
So you have to twitch and do the unthinkable. And the unthinkable is at a certain moment say, then if you say pass, probably you get disappointed. We've seen such games with teams in Europe that overplay the game. Probably I'll give many examples, but we are not here to promote them. But you know those teams, when they overpass each other, the one that twitches a bit and plays Date or Route 1 football gets the result and then seals the thing. And you look at the players and you think if Bright Stars can have that player to float the ball to Nelson Senka Atuka, he's not much fit. He's joined the preseason late, so you don't expect him to move with that passing game. He will be waiting like a lion. So if you can get him those audacious balls, he can create the difference, and then you play your passes. So I think that can work. The same way a player like Ezekiel Katende, given a chance, can actually do a lot.
He scored actually in the last season.
He's a veteran of so many seasons. He's actually the one now in that team who understands the difference between Simba and UPDF today. And if he can create that bridge, they can have that pedigree that their name has.
Yeah, for sure. Asaf Mwebazi sounding very confident in the interview. He was asked about Sam Senyondo, who was missing today, but he has Nelson Senka Atuka scored more than 50 goals for Bright Stars. Will we see goals for him today?
I believe so. As a striker, you must just go there and do your thing. I think Nelson Senka Atuka has that anger right now and hunger to ensure that he gets the goals going. 3 games just coming on as a substitute, but right now he's starting at home at a place where he knows best, and he'll deliver if he gets those services. As Tendo Nick Tamsoke has hinted about it, you need that service delivery to be efficient for a striker, for a lion to eat. Just feed the goat and the goat to eat.
On the other side, Ivan Ahimbisiwe getting the service, scoring 3 goals against Musoga.
Of course, they have a few players, Ezekiel Katende, Ivan Ahimbisiwe, and Ibrahim Wamana in midfield, who can make the thing go for UPDF. But what are they going to do? They are on away. They haven't won away in 7 games against Bright Stars. Coach Brian Senyondo has been back. They play the same kind of football with Asaf Mwebazi. They are friends to each other, as they've admitted there. So we'll be waiting to see.
Maybe they'll have similar tactics because they were in the same class.
I'm trying to look at the squads and seeing how similar they are. And I'm seeing a midfield weakness here in the side of Bright Stars, because they have Andrew Chamba, De Warren Bule. That means they'll play in defense, plus Jonathan Odongo, and then Dennis Kaka Omony. Then in the midfield is Fiat Cleophas, Frank Katochi Zanyiro, then Sharif Nsereko, and probably Muhammad Cheyune. Then Ashraf Mulindi and Nelson Senka Atuka up front. You look at that midfield and try to compare that with Frank Iga, Ibrahim Wamana, and probably Pius Kagwa for UPDF, and you think they can be stretched.
But
Bright
also,
Stars can be stretched.
Also, UPDF will be lacking their star man, Okelo Donato, who usually plays at the number 6. He was suspended in the last game, which they won 3-2 against Musoga. But right now, he will be dearly missed because he's the anchor man trying to cover up every.
They have now Sadur Abdallah back. And I think now with Sadur Abdallah back, probably Magandas can come and sit in the midfield and help Ibrahim Wamana. Because if Ibrahim Wamana sits, then they'll not have so much going forward to support the likes of Pius Kagwa and Frank Iga. But if this defense, probably Roger Sadrico and Douglas Oiroth play on the full backs, and then Samson Kasozi and probably Mogamba Saduru play in the defense, then Ibrahim Magandas can come and sit in the midfield, because the way Brian Senyondo plays, most of his defenders can come and play in the midfield. He wants to organize that way and have that first line of defense. Now, when you have that, then you'll give Rogers Mugisha and Ivan Ahimbisiwe time to go forward.
Most likely we shall see a sort of like a high line setup today,
or else even play the 3-man defense that he normally played for Mbarara, with Magandazi and these two playing in the defense, and then having the full backs.
Let us have the lineup on the screen there to see who is starting and who is on the bench, because I'm even seeing Bobo Watch, who is on the bench from Vipers. You would expect him to at least play a few matches. I know it is the start of the season, but the centre backs who are there at the moment for Bright Stars, maybe they are ahead of him at this point, because normally when you're sent out on loan from a team like Vipers joining Bright Stars, you would expect to at least play some games. Yeah,
of course, it's a new team, it's a new system, it's a new setup. You would expect everyone to struggle in a new team, irrespective of who is in that team and what team it is. But Bobo Loch, he has that experience, has been in Sweden, then come back to Vipers. He was part of the KJT team that won the inaugural, the Super League, mini Super League, to coming to Uganda Super League. I cannot remember, but then he went to Sweden, played his trade there, played some professional football. He's back right now in Vipers, and then loan to Bright Stars Sotilo. He has that experience, but the centre back Warren Bule and Andrew Chamba, they have been doing so far so good, and they've been together for some time. I think it's one of the best combination so far in the league.
And for sure,
they played
Warren Bule combination is the best. And the unfortunate part for Bobo Loch is in that setup he would be the sweeper, which Andrew Chamba does very well, and he even has the armband, and you don't expect him to choke, because behind he has the support of an experienced guy, Sula Sebunza, the young brother of Ibra Sekaja. You think that it's very hard for Bobo Loch, maybe trying to play the full back positions, which I think he doesn't have that pace.
On the left side?
Either side, left or right, and left is also hard because Dennis Omonyi is also sitting in for Semayange. I think it's a little bit hard for him. Probably he will try to, and even in the midfield, Fiat Cleophas
he's a natural centre back.
I think he will have to wait for his moment. I think.
Yeah, he will have to wait for his time.
The good thing I know is the moment he starts playing, he might be hard to displace. But right now, to come and get into the team, it's not so easy. Having been on the bench for Vipers, and Bright Stars was a team that could get results at Vipers, I think it would be an abuse to the players that the bench man is coming to put you off the team. And they are fighting to keep their place. And it's good that they have Oloch on the bench. Actually, it pushes them to fight more. And you think that it helps Bright Stars that they have that. But then I think the stronger bench is the UPDF one. With Oscar Gava, Ezekiel Katende, Swalik Seguja, the one they call Bebe, and then of course Simon Mabuya, the fullback who played for Toro. I think it's stronger. And then there is this boy that I would want to see, Abasi Cheyune. He's one of those youngsters that we are knocking on the doors, like the likes of Travis Mutiaba and all that. You would think, given a chance, he'll have a lot. He delayed so much to leave KJT, and I think this season, this is his first season in the Premier League. Hopefully he'll get some game time, but it's harder when the game is close. So if Nelson Senkatuka can score some goals and give Brian Senyondo a chance to put him in, we'll see a very good striker for the future. Abbas Cheyune, you should note that name, the shirt 12 of UPDF.
Is a centre forward?
Yeah, he's a very young player like Oscar Mawa and the like, but very, very good.
I think it will be hard for him to get into the team if Ivan Ahimbisiwe continues his form. Maybe he'll be given couple of stints.
No, when they score
Cup.
more goals and it's
Yes,
not that
yes,
close,
yes,
like
yes.
it was at UPDF 3-2.
Yes.
If they win, probably they lead like 3-0. He will get some minutes, and you will see the flashes. He has good touches, and his game intelligence is up.
It
only takes a bit of time, just the chance to be given to him, and to ensure that he uses it perfectly. But as he's still a young boy, he will have his chances coming, as so is Bobo Loch. Bobo Loch's time will come, irrespective of how Warren Bully and Andrew Chamba they are performing right now. They are good centre backs, but his chance again will come, and he will be helpful to Sotilo Bright Stars.
For sure, for sure. Well, let us have the match live on the StarTimes Uganda Premier League. Make sure you are tuned in to follow us up on this exciting match. So let us head to the pitch side to give you this game.